Joining me today to discuss industrial cybersecurity is John Livingston, CEO of Verve Industrial. Welcome, John.
Thanks. Great to be here, Sid.
As you know very well, industrial cybersecurity has a broad range of solutions, and there's a whole mix of people out there, or companies. Just to start this off, can you kind of position where Verve fits into this market?
Sure, absolutely. So Verve, first of all, we were founded about 30 years ago. So we were founded by control system engineers as a systems integration firm originally. And then about 15 years ago, started developing our software. And so it comes at this from the perspective of a control system engineer and what they need to do to protect their systems. As a result of that, if you think about the landscape of how you think about protecting, let's just focus on the software side rather than firewalls and hardware. You essentially have a wide range of players who are really focused on network analysis of one form or another. They're picking up network traffic and analyzing that traffic. Verve is focused on the endpoint. And so if we think about within the broad range of security, you've got network protections and you've got endpoint. We focus on endpoint management, endpoint security, endpoint protection. And that includes asset management, it includes vulnerability, patch management, et cetera. And so if you think about the broader context, if you can simplify the world into network and endpoint, we are the endpoint guys rather than network. As that endpoint platform, what it also means is we can provide essentially as I think you call it, a security management console for our clients. So if we think about vulnerability, patch, backups, AV, et cetera, their clients need to really manage all of those things in an integrated basis. And so because Verve is sitting at the endpoint, we can bring all that data together and help our clients really do security management across their fleets.
Yeah, I think that's a very big, important thing. And we find a lot of customers struggle with that because they haven't made the investments in that area that they should. And I was going to ask you, that was going to be my next question, but you kind of...
I'm a leading witness.
Yeah, but that's fine. I mean, but you do see people struggling with that, right?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And I think it particularly is true when you get a larger organization that has tens, dozens, hundreds of plants or sites around the world. And they're trying to say, okay, how am I going to manage this? And right now they're left with sort of each site trying to do its own thing. And frankly, different quote unquote towers of security. So I've got a vulnerability management tower, and I've got a network intrusion tower, and I've got patching. And what we're trying to say, well, that's impossible to manage across 70 sites across the globe. You need an integrated perspective. And so what we've built is essentially the ability to see every asset in every environment and know exactly whether it's quote unquote red or green, right? Am I making progress on improving my overall cybersecurity posture in a way to track that, report on it to insurers, boards of directors, compliance, et cetera, but also then to act on it and to start to take management actions, what we refer to as OT systems management, right? You got IT systems management. We think the same needs to be brought into OT. So yes, our platform allows you to manage that, and it's a huge challenge for our clients.
You're a great segue here. Because my next question was going to be around IT. We use the term IT, OT Cybersecurity Convergence, but it could be integration. I mean, different versions of it.
Right.
But we see a lot of companies heading towards that. I personally I say that's where you need to do it. But are you seeing this happening? Is Verve doing anything to help them? I mean, does your platform help them do this?
Absolutely. So we are absolutely seeing it. And the CISO at one of the largest energy companies in the world who uses our platform, he says, I like working with Verve because you allow me to do IT security in OT, right? It looks the same. I get the same kind of perspective. I can take the same kind of actions that I do in IT. You just do it in a way that's safe to operate in OT. We're seeing, and all the statistics show this, right? More and more, the CIO, CISO, et cetera, is really going to be responsible for this. And frankly, that's coming from the board down. And so as they do, they struggle with the fact that as they start to move into that OT environment, they're getting pushback, stiff arms, whatever. And so what we're trying to do is we're essentially their translator, their guide as they move into the OT environment. Because we come out of the control system engineering world, we essentially are helping our CISO, CIO clients. How do you communicate with a DCS engineer, with the plant managers around? What can you do effectively and safely in OT that looks and feels exactly like what you're used to? So we're doing that. Technically, the way we do that is we'll also integrate with all of their IT tools, right? So Verve integrates with ServiceNow and Splunk and Elastic and et cetera. And so that allows us to take the data in safely from in an OT perspective and then push that data out so that the IT folks can see what they need to see from a security point of view.
You know, I know your platform, you got a very nice platform. What kind of enhancements are you making, or what's your plans for the future for that, or where are you headed with that?
Yeah, so...
And how might that help?
Absolutely. So integrations is a big one, right? So more and more of our clients are asking us to integrate with some of their IT tools. So that's certainly something we're working on. I think one of the big focuses we have is on simplifying and reducing the cost of managing these complex environments. So for instance, some of the things we've done and we're working continually on is improving our risk scoring models. So you have an asset, it can't be patched. All right, fine, it can't be patched. But what are all the mitigating controls I can take? And how do I then measure the risk improvement on that? So we've got a risk scoring methodology. We're continuing to improve on that. That then is leading us down to what we refer to as least disruptive response actions. So as you know, our platform not only can essentially evaluate and assess an environment, but we can actually take actions, right? So we can, you can patch things, you can harden configurations, et cetera. Well, what we've now done is link that into our intrusion detection platform. And so when we see a threat, our clients can immediately go and say, what is the biggest risk, what is the best response action that poses the least risk to operations? So if it's a pass the hash attack and we know it's a particular account that's been compromised, all right, where is that account across my estate? And then can I just remove that account or disable that account rather than trying to shut down the whole system? So we're doing this, what we call least disruptive response, is a big new focus.
You know, another thing that we see a lot with companies, and again, something I talk a lot about, is they're using more and more outside services. They expect their vendors to really support them with services. From a cybersecurity perspective, you know, is that something you do? I mean, how do you do that?
So, right, whether it be ARC or SANS or whoever, all the statistics say the largest gap that our clients face is resourcing. So we come from a services company, right? So Verve was started as a control system engineering services firm. We've never lost that. So when we go to our clients, we're going to deploy our software, right? We're not going to outsource that to somebody else, right? So you have one throat to choke, so to speak. But then we also offer, because the platform gives you that visibility to the risk, we'll offer a set of initially assessment and road mapping services. So, okay, what are your biggest risks? How do you prioritize those? And then we also have remediation services. So, okay, you need to start patching, you need to harden configs, you need to do network segmentation. So our team of control systems experts, who are also security experts, then will help a client essentially make those remediation actions. And then finally, we offer some managed services to help our clients maintain that over time. So assess, remediate, maintain. Okay,
just as a final question, I just want to give you a chance to, you know, very often it's nice to give companies a chance to give an example of where you've helped the company, you know, with their cybersecurity, in an efficient way, quickly, that type of stuff. And I just wanted to give you a chance if you can think of one.
Sure, absolutely. I probably won't name names on
That's
it.
Fine.
But we are working with a very large integrated power generation transmission firm. And to your point about cost and management of these complex different systems they have, what they asked Verve to do is, okay, how do we manage a security level across various types of generation, wind, solar, thermal, et cetera, all of our transmission, our distribution, and manage that in a small team of people so we can do this efficiently. And so what we did is we've deployed Verve into all these different environments. Each one requires a slightly different architecture. We've integrated then with tools they already had. So they were using AV from different vendors because each of the OEMs has their own preferred choice. So we integrate with all those AV tools, for instance. We integrate with their different backup solutions. And all that data then comes up into one central enterprise reporting analysis platform. So they have a team of people, of 3 or 4 people, who can do all of their centralized analysis. They've estimated it saves them a couple $1 million a year in resourcing to do this. And then when they design the remediation actions, Verve enables them to push those down to a location, but before any action's taken, someone who's very, very close to the process, an INC tech at a plant or something, decides, okay, now is the time to execute that action. And so what we call think global, act local, they're living it, right? They're thinking globally, they're taking all that data across all their facilities, and then they're acting locally by enabling that OT engineer to really know, okay, before I take that action, it's okay, now's the time, et cetera. So that's one example, saving a significant amount of money for them and increasing their security at the same time.
Great example. I'm sure that's very good. Thank you, John. It's been a pleasure talking to you as always.
Great to talk to you as well, Sid. Thanks for the opportunity.
I've been discussing cybersecurity with John Livingston, CEO of Verve Industrial. Thank you for watching.